Have you ever looked in the mirror in the early morning and felt that your skin looks older than how you truly feel inside? Tired, dry, and lacking the natural glow you once had? Imagine waking up just a few nights from now and instead seeing softer, smoother, gently luminous skin that looks rested, hydrated, and noticeably revived. What if the secret isn't a serum or a cream, but something you've unknowingly been throwing away every single day? For many women over 50, the greatest concern is not simply aging. It is waking up to skin that looks dull, tired, and faded, even when the heart still feels young, active, and full of life. I'm Dr. Eliza Hart, a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist with over 15 years in women's hormonal and skin health, and I have met countless women who believe that radiant, glass-like skin is no longer possible after menopause. But the truth is, your skin does not lose its glow because of age. It loses it because it can no longer hold moisture, collagen, and light the way it once did. And here is the surprising part. Sometimes it isn't another cream or serum that makes the difference, but learning how to help your skin lock in what it already has. This is where Vaseline becomes more than just a moisturizer. It becomes a nighttime sealing treatment that helps mature skin look instantly smoother, softer, plumper, and more luminous. If this resonates with you, please subscribe. Help me reach 50,000 subscribers and comment the country you're watching from so I know how far this message travels. Now let's explore the true science behind this transformation. 1. Hormonal collagen decline. After 50, why skin stops glowing. When many women begin to notice that their skin feels duller, thinner, or unusually fragile, they often assume it is simply because they are getting older. But as a women's health specialist, I can assure you that the underlying reason is not just age, but a profound biological transition happening beneath the surface. Skin, much like any living organ, responds directly to shifting hormones, especially estrogen, which is the silent architect behind collagen production, hydration, elasticity, and that natural luminosity we once took for granted. During the years before and after menopause, estrogen levels begin to drop significantly, and with that decline, the skin loses one of its most essential protectors. Estrogen is far more than a reproductive hormone. It is a structural hormone that supports fibroblasts, the very cells responsible for creating collagen elastin and hyaluronic acid. Without its influence, fibroblasts become less active. Collagen production declines, and the skin simply cannot maintain its firmness, bounce, or youthful radiance. That is why before deep wrinkles even appear, women often experience a noticeable loss of glow, hydration, and smooth texture. Another important change during this stage is the rise in transepidermal water loss, known as TEGWL. This means the skin loses moisture much faster than it can retain it, leading to persistent dryness and a visible loss of radiance. The outer skin barrier, which once locked in moisture and protected against environmental stress, becomes weaker and more permeable. This is why even when women apply expensive creams or serums, the skin may still feel dry, tired, or flat, as if the products remain on the surface and never fully absorb. It is often around this stage that women begin to notice subtle but meaningful signs of change, like a softer texture or a more rested appearance. So when women tell me I use good skincare, but my face still looks fatigued, my response is always the same without hormonal support and barrier repair. Even the most advanced skincare cannot perform its function. Skin after 50 does not simply need more products. It needs the right biological environment to receive and retain them. And this is precisely where our approach begins to shift. Instead of applying stronger treatments, we focus on preparing the skin to hold moisture, support collagen, and reflect light once again. To do that, we turn to a natural collagen source that most women unknowingly discard every day, yet it carries remarkable potential for mature skin. 2. Eggshell membrane, a natural source of bioavailable collagen for aging skin. When women think about collagen, they often imagine powders, serums, or supplements. Yet one of the most natural and biologically compatible sources of collagen is something we commonly discard every day: the delicate membrane found inside an eggshell. This thin, translucent layer, often overlooked, is remarkably rich in collagen types, I and IV elastin, hyaluronic acid, and amino acid peptides, all of which are essential for supporting mature skin. Unlike synthetic formulations, these natural compounds are structured in a way that mirrors the collagen matrix found in human skin, making them more easily recognized and utilized by aging skin cells. What makes eggshell membrane particularly valuable for women over 50 is the way it interacts with fibroblasts, the very cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin. As estrogen declines, these fibroblasts become sluggish, and their ability to repair the skin's structure weakens. The peptides found in eggshell membrane gently stimulate fibroblast activity, helping the skin regain its ability to rebuild itself not only on the surface, but within the dermal layers where firmness, elasticity, and smoothness are restored. For many of my patients, the first area where they notice this change is around the eyes and along the cheeks, where the skin appears slightly crepey and thin. With regular use, the membrane blend can make these delicate zones feel more cushioned, supported, and resilient. Another unique benefit of this natural membrane is its ability to reduce the appearance of enlarged pores. As skin loses collagen and moisture, pores begin to stretch, making texture appear uneven. By supporting collagen renewal and lightly tightening the superficial tissue, the membrane helps refine the skin's surface, giving it a smoother, softer, and more lifted appearance. It does not bleach the skin or create artificial brightness. Instead, it helps restore the natural clarity and healthy glow that comes from improved texture and light reflection. Women often ask me, can something so simple really make a difference? My answer is always the same. Mature skin does not always need more products. It often needs better support for its natural repair systems. When used consistently and paired with proper hydration and barrier protection, this humble source can help the skin rediscover qualities it once had: supple texture, refined pores, and a brighter, more rested appearance. And while this natural ingredient supports collagen and renewal, it does something even more meaningful. It prepares the skin to receive and hold on to moisture. That is where the next step of our treatment becomes truly transformative. 3. Lemon and honey. Hydration support and collagen activation. As skin matures, many women focus heavily on lightening creams or trying to erase pigmentation. Yet the real transformation begins not with whitening, but with hydration and cellular nourishment. After 50, the skin begins to lose its ability to retain moisture and support collagen formation, not because it lacks products, but because it lacks the biological tools required to process them. That is where two humble, natural ingredients, lemon and honey, become surprisingly meaningful, not as bleaching agents, but as activators that gently support collagen synthesis, moisture retention, and overall skin vitality. Lemon, when used correctly and in minimal amounts, offers something far more valuable than superficial brightness. It provides vitamin C, a crucial cofactor in collagen formation. This vitamin does not whiten the skin. Rather, it assists the enzyme prolyl hydroxylase, which helps stabilize and form new collagen fibers. When this process is supported, skin gradually becomes firmer and more supported from within, rather than just appearing temporarily brighter on the surface. It is not the color of the skin that improves first, but its capacity to hold light softness and bounce. Honey brings a different kind of support. It functions as a humectant, meaning it gently attracts and holds moisture within the epidermis, helping restore what hormonal decline has taken away: hydration, softness, and a sense of suppleness. Unlike heavy creams that may sit on the surface, honey provides lightweight, continuous hydration, giving mature skin a smoother, plumper appearance without overwhelming it. It supports barrier repair, so the skin not only absorbs nourishment, but also begins to retain it more effectively. When combined, lemon and honey do not promise instant whitening. Instead, they help mature skin recover radiance by improving moisture balance and collagen activation. Women often describe their skin feeling comfortably alive rather than simply looking treated. The change is subtle. At first, improved softness, less tightness, and a slightly fresher appearance around the cheeks and under the eyes. These are early signs that the skin is beginning to respond and repair rather than merely being coated. I often tell my patients that healthy skin does not ask to be bleached, it asks to be supported. And support in this stage of life means protecting moisture, strengthening collagen and restoring barrier function, not forcing lightness, but rediscovering natural clarity. If this resonates with you, comment 1. If you believe hydration is the first true step to youthful skin, or comment 0. If you once believed whitening alone could restore radiance. Now, once the skin is nourished and supported, we can take a deeper look at how to help it hold on to that hydration, especially overnight. 4. Why Vaseline works only at night. The science of moisture lock. As the skin begins to respond to natural collagen sources and hydration-supporting ingredients, the next essential step is not adding more treatment, but helping the skin hold on to what it has already received. After 50 mature skin struggles, not because it lacks moisture, but because it cannot retain moisture long enough for repair to happen. This is due to the thinning of the lipid barrier, the protective layer that prevents moisture from escaping through transepidermal water loss. During menopause and beyond, this barrier weakens, causing even high-quality creams and serums to evaporate too quickly, leaving the skin feeling dry and depleted by morning. This is where Vaseline plays a unique role, but only when used at night. During sleep, the skin enters its natural repair mode, increasing cell turnover and moisture absorption. Vaseline does not hydrate the skin. Instead, it acts as an occlusive layer, trapping hydration and nutrients inside the skin for several uninterrupted hours. During the day, however, heat, sun exposure, sweat, and movement interfere with this process, causing Vaseline to work against the skin's balance, creating heaviness or even dullness instead of radiance. At night, when the skin is naturally more permeable and receptive, the occlusive effect of Vaseline creates a semi-occluded microenvironment that allows peptides, amino acids, and humectants from the nourishing layer beneath to fully penetrate and remain active. This is why women who apply Vaseline after a hydrating base layer often wake up with noticeably softer, smoother, and more cushioned skin, not because Vaseline filled the lines, but because it allowed moisture to remain long enough to soften them naturally. Some women even describe the skin as feeling comfortably sealed, not in a heavy way, but with a sense of retained softness, almost as if the moisture has been gently locked beneath the surface rather than evaporating into the air. This is the environment in which mature skin can finally begin to reflect light naturally, again laying the foundation for that glass skin effect. When this nighttime moisture lock occurs consistently, the skin begins to look less deflated, less fatigued, and slightly more reflective, showing early signs of the glass-like appearance often seen in youthful, well-hydrated skin. The transformation is not instant but biologically progressive: moisture, elasticity, softness, radiance. Now, knowing why timing matters more than quantity, let's move into something even more practical: how to apply everything the right way using a simple two-step evening method designed specifically for women over 50. 5. The correct two-step night routine for women over 50. When women ask me why their skincare products no longer work the way they used to, I often explain that after 50, it is not merely about what you apply, but how and when you apply it. The skin's ability to absorb, process, and retain moisture becomes limited due to hormonal changes, which means layering multiple products does not necessarily improve results. Instead, what the skin truly needs at this stage is a structured two-step routine that first prepares it to receive nourishment and then seals it long enough for repair to occur. The first step focuses on nourishing and priming the skin using lightweight, biologically supportive ingredients such as eggshell membrane peptides, honey for moisture attraction, and a few drops of diluted lemon for collagen activation. These elements do more than sit on the surface. They gently engage fibroblast cells, helping them regain some of their lost repair functions. When massaged in slow upward motions, this layer helps revive circulation supports, collagen renewal, and allows hydration to reach deeper, especially around delicate zones, like the cheeks, corners of the mouth, and under the eyes where thinning and early sagging are most noticeable. The second step is simply sealing everything in place using a thin, even layer of Vaseline. Many women mistakenly believe Vaseline should be applied thickly to be effective, when in reality, a very light layer works best. Its purpose is not to nourish, but to protect. It forms an occlusive barrier that slows down moisture loss and allows the nourishing treatment underneath to stay active for several uninterrupted hours, while the skin is in its most receptive repair phase during sleep. This routine is not about adding more, it is about giving time for what has already been applied to work. When nourishment meets protection, and when moisture is retained long enough to soften the skin's surface, something subtle but meaningful begins to happen. The skin starts feeling less deflated, more supported, and gradually more responsive to treatment. Fine lines look softer not because they are filled, but because the skin slowly regains suppleness. And when this is done consistently, night after night, something even more encouraging begins to appear. Not instant perfection, but the first quiet signs of transformation. A gentle glow, restored elasticity, and a smoother, more rested texture that looks naturally alive. Now let's explore what real visible changes most women over 50 tend to notice after just 7 to 14 nights of following this method. 6. The real visible changes what women over 50 can expect in 7 to 14 nights. The most beautiful part of this journey is that mature skin may not respond with dramatic overnight miracles, but it does respond with quiet, progressive changes that feel natural, believable, and deeply encouraging. Women often tell me that around the 7th night, they begin to notice something subtle, yet noticeable not on the entire face, but around specific areas like the cheeks, under the eyes, and along the forehead. These areas start to appear less fatigued and slightly more hydrated, as though the skin is holding on to moisture rather than losing it immediately by morning. This is one of the first signs that the moisture barrier is beginning to restore itself. By the second week, women often describe their skin as feeling comfortably cushioned, not oily, not tight, but softly balanced. The surface begins to feel smoother when touched, especially along the jawline and under the eyes where dryness once created a crepe-like texture. Makeup begins to sit differently too. It no longer settles into fine lines as quickly because hydration improves elasticity, giving the skin a softer, more flexible surface. Light reflection is another key sign of improvement. When skin regains moisture and support, it starts to reflect light more evenly, not with a shiny or artificial glow, but with a healthy, softened brightness that makes the face appear rested and naturally luminous. This is the biological foundation of what we often call the glass skin effect, especially in mature skin, not glossy or wet-looking, but quietly reflective, smooth, and subtly radiant. Women commonly report that friends and family begin to notice these shifts before they fully recognize them themselves. Comments like, "You look well rested," or "Your skin looks fresh lately," begin to appear not because of makeup or filters, but because the skin is finally responding to nourishment, hydration, and protection in a biologically meaningful way. Within 14 nights, many women experience reduced roughness, softer lines, and improved clarity. Not because lines disappear, but because healthy skin holds light differently, making texture appear softer and less rigid. This change is gradual, authentic, and most importantly sustainable when the routine is continued. And once the skin begins to show these signs of renewal, it becomes ready for something even deeper, long-term restoration of firmness, light reflection, and collagen resilience changes that are not just seen, but truly felt. 7. When skin becomes stable. How to maintain radiance without overusing products. When mature skin begins to stabilize, holding moisture longer, appearing softer in the morning, and feeling less fatigued, even without makeup, this is a sign that the barrier has started to recover. At this stage, many women feel encouraged and understandably become eager to add more products, hoping to accelerate results. Yet this is precisely the time when skin needs less, not more. The goal is no longer to stimulate repair or correct aggressively, but to preserve stability, prevent moisture loss, and protect the gentle progress that has already begun. Skin after 50 behaves differently when it becomes balanced. It no longer absorbs everything instantly. Instead, it begins to regulate hydration, respond better to nourishing ingredients, and even resist excessive dryness throughout the day. When the barrier is weak, skin is thirsty and reactive. When the barrier is restored, skin becomes calmer, more self-regulated, and more selective. This means fewer fluctuations between dryness and oiliness, less tightness in the mornings, and a more consistent comfort throughout the day. This is the moment to shift from correction to preservation. Instead of constantly trying to boost collagen or brighten tone, your focus turns to maintaining moisture, supporting elasticity, and allowing the skin to work at its own pace. Overusing products, especially those that exfoliate, tighten, or promise rapid brightening, can disrupt the balance that has taken weeks to build. Mature skin does not thrive under pressure. It thrives in consistency, hydration, and protection. At this stage, women often observe something meaningful. Their skin begins to hold light naturally. Not the glossy shine created by heavy creams, but a soft, diffused luminosity that appears even on bare skin. Fine lines may still exist, but they appear softer. Pores are visible yet less pronounced. Instead of aiming for perfection, the skin begins to reflect health, calmness, and resilience qualities that are far more sustainable. The routine that supports this stability is surprisingly simple. Nourish, lightly, seal gently, and avoid unnecessary products during the day. Hydration becomes the anchor, and Vaseline at night remains the silent guardian that protects progress. When the barrier is respected, rather than overloaded, the skin continues to evolve more comfort, more radiance, and a sense of natural ease that no cosmetic surface treatment can replicate. When skin becomes stable, it is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of sustainable renewal. And that is when beauty stops being something you chase and becomes something your skin quietly remembers how to express. After 50, the journey to healthy, luminous skin is not about reversing age or chasing perfection, but about restoring balance, protecting moisture, and allowing the skin to work in harmony with its natural rhythm. You now understand that true glow is not created by heavy creams or brightening treatments, but by nourishing, gently sealing wisely at night, and giving your skin the conditions it needs to repair. When hydration is preserved, collagen is supported, and the barrier is protected, the skin begins to reflect something far more meaningful than youth. It reflects health, calmness, and restoration. If you have found comfort, clarity, or even hope through this video and wish to support the continued growth of this channel, you are welcome to make a small donation from the link below. It is never expected but deeply appreciated, and it helps me keep sharing science-based, age-respectful guidance for women in this beautiful chapter of life. If you believe more women deserve this knowledge, please like, share, subscribe, and help this channel grow. Thank you for spending your time here. You are not behind, you are simply beginning a wiser way of caring for your skin.